Can't even outrun the
I'm just
Pegos.
walking. I'm not even running. You're good.
I know.
Today we conquer. My parachute just disappeared out of the ground.
The States. Look all those Pegos. Right, kids, it's Raspark, and welcome back to another very special episode. Oh, yes, it is. Introducing our guest today, being a huge advocate of that PvP life, most famously and extraordinarily rocking small tribes on his own, solo, against the world, showcasing how it's entirely possible to survive on your own in PvP, executing some of the most mind-blowing raids out there, offering commentary with certainly one of the most iconic radio voices around. Boasting vids with huge views, with his biggest hidden base hit pumping over 1 million views, and just now recently hitting the magic milestone of 100k subscribers, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the one and only Green Mohawk.
How's it going?
How you doing, mate? How you doing? I can't believe how big you are, or am I small? I think it's me.
No. I mean, I do have like the max character size, so.
It's like twins with Arnie and DeVito.
Yeah. So most characters I can crouch and be about the same height as, so you're a little bit taller than them. You're pretty good.
We're rocking flak and a pike and meat. That's it, because there's something going on. Before we do that, I just wanted to say, yeah, huge congratulations, mate. 100k. What a milestone. It really must feel like a huge achievement. And yeah, I've brought you on just to celebrate that with everybody. And everyone gets to know a bit about you. But before we do that, being a detective in finding the most hidden bases in ARK, whilst we're firing questions, I prepared a little detective work for you throughout.
Oh, of course.
To obtain 4 artifacts on Center, the Cunning, Devious, Hunter, and Immune in that order, and seeing you like to steal a lot, we'll be facing many creatures that like to do that too. So it seems a great place to start there. Your voice work, which I have to say is certainly a captivating radio quality take. And that being said, and I can certainly speak from experience myself, it wasn't always that tone. So
It was not, no.
yeah, so talk me through that process, or confidence you gained to reach a voice that you felt worked well with your audience.
So the thing is, like, a lot of people assume that, like, I'm putting on a voice for YouTube. In all honesty, my voice has just changed over the years. I think probably just because of, like, throat issues, but who knows. I'm going to a doctor about it. We'll see what that actual answer is on why that happened. It's definitely changed over the last 2 years. As you can see in my old videos, it was much higher and much more exaggerated. I was definitely putting on a voice back then.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's definitely a lot deeper.
Oh, so it's a medical thing then? Yeah, I feel kind of bad asking the question.
If I had to guess, but I quite honestly have no idea. Originally I was putting on a voice, but it wasn't like to make my voice deeper. I was just trying to like exaggerate more. Yeah. Like in a lot of my videos, you'll hear me go like, "What's up, guys? How's it going?" It was the same thing back then.
Yeah, that's it. And
you know, you're doing that YouTube commentator.
Absolutely.
That norm.
Yeah. It's developing. Yeah, that radio voice. I can hear Pegos behind me. There's one behind you.
Yeah, you see, I'm not really scared of the Pego because like he can steal my berries all I want, but he just only takes your last item slot. So
that's a good idea. I should have done that.
I could honestly tame him. Hi, buddy. How's it going? You're a good boy.
Get yourself a Pego. Oh yeah. Oh no.
In all honesty, having a deeper voice, although I'm sure it does help captivate the audience and keep them in longer, because they're like, you know, it's fun to hear a deeper voice sometimes. But you know, obviously I get a lot of people who are like, "Oh, you're faking your voice," or "Oh, I don't like deep voices." Yeah. So it's not really like always a good thing. Yeah,
well, I don't know. Like I said in the question, mate, you know, I truly think it's a very precise radio voice. You know, have you ever gone for like any auditions?
I have not. No. I've thought about it before, but it's just one of those things that's hard to get into.
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, but if you don't try, you don't know, mate. And you've certainly
that's true. That's always very true.
Yeah, mate. You've certainly got that talent for it. You've got an edge, yeah. That, like I said, captivates you straight away. Go on then.
Hopefully, you're ready for this, though.
Ah! Don't you hate it when you overshoot this, though, and there's no way else to go but all the way?
I know what you're talking about. I'd never overshoot this.
No, what? I love it. The confidence is there. Brilliant.
Yeah, you always gotta have confidence in life.
Yeah, man. And speaking of confidence, hitting the magic 100k mark, which again A huge congratulations is deserved for. And quite notably, in a reasonable time, considering your oldest vid was only posted in 2019. But all through a delivery of content that must be difficult to film, owed to undetermined scenarios in the PvP life. And yet, being focused on that content primarily, how did you come to find especially solo PvP content with the videos you wanted to be known for?
So initially when I started this channel, I actually started with tips and tricks, and I was just like enjoying it as testing things out. There's a whole story on why I started the channel, and Grapes is kind of behind a lot of the reasons I started it, because we knew each other before making our channels, and he kind of made a bet that he could pass my old channel subscriber count, which was like 200 subscribers. And I was like, I bet you can't. But then in just a month, he passed it by like over a couple thousand subs.
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, now I gotta prove I can pass him. And I made a new channel and just went for it. The reason I went for solo PvP was because Crepes and I, we were very competitive people.
Yeah.
He was already doing PvP stuff, and I always enjoyed the challenge of the game. I've kind of always felt like the game had this, like, it was a bit too easy when you had a full tribe, you know? So I wanted to see how hard it would be to go out and just do everything solo, see if I could beat all the bigger tribes who were just like bullying all these small tribes and stuff alone. And yeah, so we just kind of both went on our own ways, both went solo, and kind of kept challenging each other to do better than each other, and that's kind of how it went.
That's great, mate. Because there's so many people out there that refuse to believe you can't do the solo game unofficial, and you know, people like you can showcase that and prove, it can be done. There's no reason not to. And I love that.
I've had a base just sitting there with no defenses for the last 6 days.
Really?
I can promise it's still very possible. It's one of the perks of being a solo player. You can just go around, find the small spot you can, and build up there.
I take it you try your hardest to avoid using ones that are like online.
No, I've never once used a base spot that was in a video.
Yeah, because
I will only use base spots that I find, and I'll search every single server to check if anybody has it. I have tons, dozens and dozens of spots that I could do an unofficial, but I like the challenge of official being where you can barely build anywhere.
I can't even remember the last time. Probably Legacy was when I was on collision detection. Yeah, I've not played official since Legacy died, because I just, all that grind, it killed me. I didn't want to do it again. I couldn't do it to myself.
It's easy.
Yeah, no, it is. You prove that. Like, you've got so many videos on Fresh Start and that. Oh, so slow. I can't even outrun the Pegos.
I'm just walking. I'm not even running. You're good.
I know.
Wow, you just killed that poor little Pego.
I did, mate. I did.
And I've been feeding them this entire way, being so nice, and you're just murdering them behind me.
Mate,
I see how it is.
Mate, it's meant to be a challenge, and you're just befriending.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're befriending the challenge. Hey, there we go. Artifact 1. Done. Locked in.
Artifact number 1.
Claim it. Oh my god. I'm overweight. Right, now I should be as quick as you now. So,
how are we going to get to the floating island exactly?
How indeed.
I'll just tame a Pego, throw some wings on it, and call it good.
That sounds like a plan. I like it. It's plain to see your experience dates back to before Aberration, but I'm curious to hear where exactly it started. How did you find yourself being sucked into the world of ARK, and ultimately choose to create content on that?
So I initially started playing ARK on my mom's friend's boyfriend's Xbox in another state. And he was just playing it one day, and I was like, oh, what game is this? It's full of dinosaurs. I love that. And he's like, oh, it's ARK Survival Evolved. And then they played it for a bit. I was on the island flying through the redwoods with the Pteranodon. Died multiple times. I was like, all right, my new game right here. I had nothing before then, but I ended up starting to play it on my own PC, and eventually I convinced a couple of my friends to start playing it. My friends Evil Love Madge and Evil Love's husband Noobzer. And at the time, their friend, a person who I hated, Grapes, we hated each other for the longest time. And so we were all just playing in single player, doing our own little thing and having a good time. And then eventually we're like, you know what? Single player is boring. Why don't we go on small trap PvP? I loved the dinosaurs in the game, but the PvP aspect's what really got me. Before playing this, I was really into like Minecraft PvP stuff. I was a big Minecrafter. And The PvP in this game just really caught me.
This is meant to be a challenge? Damn it. I knew it. I was writing up the idea.
Once you bring a solo PvPer into a game with a challenge, I mean, expect it to be a little bit destroyed.
Oh, absolutely. I knew I should have stepped it up more. I'm even like fascinated on how you're timing running and parachuting to make sure you're running at like top speed almost. Genuinely fascinating just to see that. Like I'm there slowing down, stopping and starting, and you just seem to run like a Duracell battery. What's quite surprising is the number of videos you've produced to reach this milestone, arguably reaching the smaller audience of players in ARK, a la PvP. Though you've certainly dabbled in PvE, notably with your Primal Evolved attempt at a huge new challenge. But what's fascinating to see is the passion in your community. In a mode that can be quite frankly toxic at times, you seem to deliver yours with very little. And how do you find the balance of entertaining and engaging PvP fans over perhaps PvE fans?
So it's a really hard one to answer in all honesty, because for the most part, your personality is what drives your audience. Like, if you have a specific personality, you're going to drive that specific audience, right? If you have a more toxic personality, your community will be more toxic. If you have a more positive personality, your community will be more positive, you know? Ultimately, my goal ever since the beginning was to create a very positive environment, which has, I'm sure you and everybody else who plays ARK knows, is very hard in ARK, at least in the PvP scene. But you know, just being very firm on what type of community you want, making sure you have a certain rule set, etc. It's not that hard to drive a positive community. But when it comes to PvP versus PvE, a lot of PvP players, nowadays anyway, are just kind of getting bored with the game, so they're just kind of watching anything they can. And that's why some of them are going over to PvE and vice versa. There have been times when it was like, I would build a solo base, and I was just there for so long it got boring because nobody raided me.
Damn.
So I've had solo bases auto decay from just boredom, so I just left them.
There's ever a reason to check you out. That alone, like for people who are struggling, like just go watch Mr. Mohawk. There's no reason not to if you're questioning why you can't start up.
It's weird for me. I don't think any of my friends ever seen me rage.
No?
I've never gotten mad at the game. Even if I'm getting wiped, I don't really get mad.
Damn, you've never raged?
Not really, no. Like, I'll get irritated, but I don't really rage.
You've never had that feeling of wanting to throw a controller at the screen? No?
Nah, not really. Like maybe when I was younger, but I kind of got over those years for me.
For
the most part, I think that's one of the big reasons why I can go solo and be alright. Because like I don't get triggered at all if I die and lose everything or anything like that. It's like, alright, well, lost that. We'll just go start over. It's fine. So, are you ready for
I hope
hell of a jump?
Oh no, not with Pegos around.
It's okay. They're friendly now. They got their bears.
Friendly. Right, yeah, go on then.
Alright, so you ready for this?
Go on, mate. I'm on you.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so now let me look at you. Hi, how's it going?
I'm good, mate. I'm good, thanks. Look at us. Just two, abnormally sized twins in green, floating to the floating island.
Two brothers from another mother flying together in the sky going to the floating island.
So looking to your most recent content, you've certainly begun attempting more diversity, notably the memes vids, which I can't say I wasn't inspired by doing a few myself. But yeah, with ARK being around for as long as it has, and us finding somewhat a long break before the sequel drops, was that a personal decision to begin to branch out, perhaps like in discovering what other content ideas you could deliver?
For me, I've always been in the mindset of I want a personality-driven community, not specifically like a niche-driven community. ARK is very much a niche-driven community, as you know. You're not going to make a video on ARK and get non-ARK players watching it, right? It's just not going to happen. I definitely want to diversify and expand out of the game, because as we all know right now, there's a lot of drama around our community with the new DLCs and people claiming the game's too easy now, stuff like that. For a lot of the viewer base is actually leaving. The ARK community has seen, I think, roughly like a 75% drop in views.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about expanding out. I have a lot of things planned and upcoming, and there's even some major collaborations that are in the works.
Anything we can get exclusive on?
All I have to say is a few of your favorite ARK YouTubers will be participating in it.
Oh, wicked, mate. Oh, I wish you the best of luck with that. I really do. On a daily basis, I get players asking me, like, you know, there's nothing more to cover in ARK 1. Like, it's done. The game's over. But it's not.
There's definitely a lot more to cover.
Oh, no. Yeah, that was silly. Hit the floor hard.
I see there's a couple Pegos over here.
Yeah, there's a few. I've got low lives.
All right, my Pego army. We shall rise and take over this island.
That's a lot of Pegos.
Today we will rule. Today we conquer. Are you with me? We shall fight.
Oh my god.
Nah, hang on. Let me just deal with all these real fast.
Oh damn. It's a lot of Pegos.
Not for very long. You should see my kill feed right now.
Mate, let's go down.
I'm just not going to bother with parachute. It's too much work.
What? So, other video ideas?
I can say a few of them. I'm definitely going to be doing a couple of Minecraft things here soon. Some of the Isle. I'm going to be branching out to a lot more things outside of ARK here soon. However, I will still be obviously continuing ARK stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed you dabbled in the Isle.
It is a very, very fun game.
It looks
and definitely something the ARK community seems to enjoy too.
Pego is stealing me stuff.
You know, I just know where hidden bases are. Nobody hides bases down there, so...
No. They used to in the mesh.
Yeah, in the mesh, of course.
Yeah, plenty in the mesh, yeah. And it's not something I wrote down as a question, and I really should have, being that, you know, you're heavily in the PvP game. Yeah, your view on meshing and, you know, how the devs have improved it as of late.
From an actual PvPer, I will say the meshing has improved dramatically.
That's good.
In the community, there are most definitely still ways to mesh. Like, I can name 5 ways to get out of the mesh in Aberration alone that you won't get mesh detected, and it's not hard by any means, but the devs are trying to improve on it. The only thing they really need to fix is just like a couple of mesh holes, and that's about it.
Oh, it's just holes then. That's okay.
Yeah, for the most part, it's pretty hard to go directly through the mesh now. I don't even think it's possible to my knowledge. Yeah, it's definitely much, much better. There's a lot of rat holes that have been patched that now just have mesh bases in them because they were patched that the devs never get around to.
Yeah.
There's many of them that I've found that have been patched like a year ago and are still there.
They're still going. Good grief.
The devs are doing good, but I don't feel like they have a big enough enforcement team to really crack down on every single server, because obviously they have hundreds of official servers, then Small Tribes has 170 or something.
They've got a list of the holes that they've patched. Surely they should be listing that. Okay, there's probably going to be bases on that. We'll give them enough time to move out. I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, and then we need to go through every single server. We have to do that to make sure, you know, nobody's still living in there and living in the mesh. And
absolutely,
it's surprising that it's not been a priority for them to hear that there's people a year on still living in patched mesh holes. Good grief.
I think they're honestly trying their best. Like, I have no ill feelings about the devs. I think the devs are doing their best, and I think that they are genuinely trying to care about the community. So eventually, I'm sure they'll get around to it. This is one of their very, very first games.
Absolutely.
So it has a lot of spaghetti code, and that's why meshing was so hard to patch for a long time, and that'll just cause a lot of issues for them. So they're working their best.
Yeah, I love that phrase, spaghetti code.
Spaghetti code's a very common coding term. I used to do a little bit of game development and coding.
Oh, did you?
I have quite an extensive sheet of things I used to do and just kind of know. Well, on my first YouTube channel, I did 3D animation and modeling a lot, so that's one of the things that also helps me with my thumbnails a lot nowadays. I did some video editing work for people at one point, including people like Captain Sparkles, a Minecraft YouTuber, stuff like that. Just a lot of very random things. Game development, I never finished a game or anything, just did it for fun. I really wanted to learn what it was like for a dev to create a game and see what that perspective was, so I learned C++, C#, JavaScript, Python, HTML, just everything.
So we're nearly there.
It's very easy to learn any new skills nowadays with YouTube.
It's not even software nowadays, really. It's almost all there on YouTube, ready for you. You know, you just gotta have the mind for it, and that's it. That's what another one down.
Acquired the artifact of the devious. Have you guys accepted me as your overlord yet? Good. All right. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go and steal stuff from Clark.
Yes, sweet.
Yes, good.
Why?
You've proven your worth.
Dude, what's going on? Why are they not attacking you? They're attacking
I've
me.
just told you they've accepted me as their overlord.
Well, yeah, no, pulling back to your love of PvP. Witnessing a game aptly evolving from DLC to DLC, which we kind of touched on earlier, with ever-changing creatures, weapons, metas to shape executing the perfect raid. Some of which you, of course, showcase yourself in those videos. But what's the one addition to the game you feel made raiding easier, and why?
I feel like the raiding mechanics haven't changed too much besides just soaking more, quite honestly. Like, obviously there is new tames now with the Shadow Main. When it first came out, you could literally teleport behind Squeeze defenses and just go into their base. That was pretty wild. Noglin is insanely overpowered right now, which I'm sure they'll come out with something for when you can just take over somebody and walk into their base and turn off their generator. Yeah. It's pretty wild, you know?
Yeah.
And then one thing that'll come in the future, which I'm gonna guess is a meta here soon, is gonna be Maywing bombing. Because Maywings, they just have such high speeds.
Yeah.
Once you get some HP lines in there, it's gonna be the new Pteranodon Sea Spinner.
Oh, there you go. You heard it here first. Maywing bombing, it's going to be a thing. They're so quick.
But Noglins have, for sure, made it where it's actually possible to raid something like an ice cave. I believe it was Shane the Shadow the other day posted a video where he almost raided an ice cave just with the Noglin by taking over their people. Genesis 2 is what's made the bases so much harder to raid and easier at the same time, with creation of ammo boxes that just let you automatically refill your turrets. And I could honestly go at almost any base in the game and soak it solo, assuming I had the right tames. And those are usually just turrets, trikes, and racers. Like, the soaking game hasn't changed much. I mean, you can C4 run with 1000 or a flak pretty easily, but there's not much else past that, in my opinion. Like, there's obviously tech rifles, stuff like that, but that's nothing new. There's nothing that's really been meta changing in a while besides Gen 2. But all right, you ready to do this massive jump?
Oh, I think so. Go on then.
We'll have to do a little bit of swimming, so make sure you have stamina. All right, 3,
Right.
2,
1.
1.
All right. Nice segue to the next question, actually. In terms of ARK today, having gone from primitive turtle tanking to tech takeovers, whilst most old school players yearn for the old days, how do you feel the constant refreshing evolution of PvP has defined ARK?
I mean, personally, I do like the fact that the meta is always changing. I do like, have that nostalgia of, I miss the good old days of when it was harder to get tech and all that stuff. But honestly, the fact that the meta is always changing does add a lot to the content. You always have to figure out new ways to raid. When new stuff comes out, you're like, I can use this to raid a base, and you give that a go, and my parachute just disappeared. I went to the ground.
No.
But yeah, overall, I feel like it's a good thing that they're always changing the meta. I just feel like sometimes they should get the community involved a little bit more with their decisions, and maybe treat it a little bit more like Rust, where instead of once they put something in, it's final. They shouldn't be scared to take things out.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
It's like Rust, they'll put stuff in, and then next week they'll be like, that didn't work, let's just remove it.
But we've seen firsthand what happens when stuff goes to vote.
It's going to be weird going on this island and not being attacked by Rex and a ton of Carnos and just Pegos.
Yeah. I feel like I've made this a lot easier. Yeah. Do you know, originally I was going to go for alphas, and I thought, that's going to be a bit too challenging, like just alphas everywhere. Oh well.
I just feel bad for the Pegos. They're just stealing the meat of their own kind.
Almost there. And then we've only got one more left to get. This has been a breeze. Hey, there we go. One left to go. Having been involved in many, many raids, we've all got our favourite ones that was executed to perfection. But seeing you've been involved in quite a few, could you describe your favourite raid and one raid that you never got to film?
There's one raid where we got somebody dev wiped, which is kind of funny, but my favorite moment I've done, which I guess you can consider a raid considering the level. I did a video when I first came out with the channel.
Yeah.
It was like one of my first few videos that was called the Ultimate Bob Challenge.
Right.
This video has like no traffic, almost no views, and that's fine. But the concept of the video was to see how far we could get in small tribes as a duo as a level 1.
Oh dear.
And so we weren't allowed to level up or anything. We ended up finding somebody transferring on an obelisk, and he had a level 450 something man of armor on him. Yeah, so as a level 1, we got a top stat man of armor at the time. And we were just flying around on it as level 1s that were naked.
Brilliant.
And the entire time he's in chat like, oh, come back and I'll give you turrets, and oh, it'll be completely okay. Naturally thinking, oh, they're just level 1s. They'll just be fine. They'll bring it back, right?
Yeah. Oh, there you are. No, you're just being at one with your Pegos. Oh no, you teleported.
I like how it teleported me after you got close, not when you were far away.
No.
Just keeps teleporting me now.
What is he
What?
doing?
This makes no sense.
Oh, go. We're about to get bombarded. Look at the state. Look at all those Pegos. They just
I have a few of them there.
They just want to love you. That's what it is.
Yeah, I told you, they're just love bugs. I want to give you a high five, then take a little bit of food in the process.
One raid you never got to film.
So, I mean, I did a couple raids that I, actually did start doing, and just ended up scrapping all the footage because in the end, I didn't get in or something along those lines. The footage corrupted. That used to happen a lot because my old computer would just crash all the time. So I'd be recording a video that just crashes and my footage is gone. So there was a few raids like that I just lost all the footage on. I even found some hidden bases or hidden Perlovias and stuff when just my footage corrupted. And I was like, you faked it. You didn't find that. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I just lost the footage. The one base I didn't get to raid, this was recorded. It was with grapes on Aberration in a base spot that I discovered that was previously almost completely undiscovered. Only one other person knew about it, apparently.
Wow.
Because they were living in it. It was in the irradiation zone, in a back corner through a crouch hole. And they had this turret wall that we almost soaked through. They just happened to get online right before we were going to get in. We were almost in. We were going to get in there probably in the next 30 minutes. They get online, and then obviously once they're online, they can counter us really easily since we're just a duo.
Yeah. And
they have a bunch of tames and we don't, because we had just started the game. I think we were on day 3 of our series, maybe day 2. Afterwards, we managed to get in contact with them. They were super chill guys.
Yeah.
And they showed us what was in their base. And they had, I think, 7 vaults of tech. Obviously, this is before Genesis even came out, so that was pretty hard. They had Daddies full of element. They had hundreds and hundreds of tames in there, and we're like, that's a moment right there. I really wish we could have got that.
Damn. With ARK 2 so far away, and certainly some concern over the commitment to ARK 1 until then, which could be well over a year now, but being offered at least 2 mod maps until then, what do you believe is the one thing Wildcard need to implement to ensure a happy relationship until ARK 2, which we kind of touched on before?
To be completely honest, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where ARK already has so much stuff in it. It's one of those things that the only thing that's really going to keep people content is just new servers, new server types, stuff like that to keep them busy and entertained. Putting more content into the game, although will give people more incentive to play, it'll only give them incentive for a month, at most.
Yeah.
They'll go through, explore everything in the map, maybe a week up to a month, and then they've done everything. They've already finished that. So new servers would probably be the easiest way for them to maintain a bigger player base because when you have to fully start over, you're going a lot longer.
Yeah.
Give people those incentives to build up new lines, the incentives to become the new alpha even though you were nothing before. I feel like that's probably one of the easiest ways to keep a player base.
It's definitely not Pegos. There's a lot of Pegos in here. Sorry, I'm probably teleporting
look, they're just
you
chilling.
back.
They're having a good time.
What? That should not be.
Here, Pegos, you can have a snack. No, you don't want a snack? All right. You can just keep attacking him then. Go fight him.
Oh, what is this trickery?
It even works too. They just all go charging at you. I'm most definitely gonna drown.
All right,
but
straight up.
I will look at this beautiful artifact as I die a glorious death.
I'm trying to find you to save you. Oh, there you are.
I'm already well past dead.
Right, I'll take the artifact off you, buddy. There it is. We got it. Artifact done.
Priorities. I have to drown again real fast too.
You've lost a piece of your armor there,
Pego
mate.
just break my chest plate?
Oh, did he break?
Now you're just gonna rip tabs for the rest of this.
Alright, rip tabs. We're just going to stare at Pegos. But there we go. Green Mohawk. It's a genuine pleasure, mate, to have you on the show. Someone who certainly inspires me with your quality of brand and content. And again, executed with one of the silkiest voices out there. Fully deserving of the nice round 100k subs you've recently achieved. So please, tell the arseholes what's going on in your life and what you're working on next.
For the most part right now, my life is utter chaos. I just got a puppy, so training that beautiful dog. Doing a lot of Twitch stuff here recently, trying to grow the audience over there, and just gonna be expanding to a whole bunch of new games while also continuing up the ARK solo series.
Cool, great. Well, there you go then. So go check out Green Mohawk's Twitch channel and of course subscribe to him. I'll leave his links in the description below. Massive thank you to Green Mohawk for joining. It's a real pleasure, it really is, and congratulations once again. And there we go. Who do you want to see me interview next? Comment below, let me know. My name is Ras Clark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always, peace out.